the previous chapter, and we already entered like chapter 8 actually. But no worries, for those who want to start from the beginning, there's also always the Tuesdays class, which is the beginners class. And we are on chapter 1 actually. So in the middle of chapter 1. So last week we learned until the grammar of short form, or also known as the dictionary form, which is, from the mass form, which is, for example, like tabemas. For example, then it'll become the short form, which is taberu. You basically change the mass form. So taberu. So that is the short form. So basically, short form are usually used for informal speech. So informal speech, and of course, there's also different ways to conjugate the verbs and the the ikoshi, the e adjective as well as the na adjectives. So. And this is the one that we learned, the informal speech. So basically, informal speech are used with close family members, friends, as well as kohai or juniors. But for those who are like older than you, or someone you don't really know, or someone you really respect, then you should be using the formal speech, the mass form. So the next one is the third grammar that we'll be learning, which is nani to omoimasu. Nani, oh my, why is it so thick? Nani to omoimasu, or nani to itte imashita. So these are actually two different meaning actually. So the first one we'll be learning is nani to omoimasu. So basically nani to omoimasu is usually it's used to like say what you think. It's like an opinion actually. Nani to omoimasu. It's used to say what you think, which is more like an opinion. For example, like a friend of you asking like, oh, which dress suits me more? Then you'll be like, oh, I think this dress would suit you more. So you'll be like, このドレスの方がいいと思います. You use that 何々と思います at the end of the sentence, which shows what you think actually, the sentence. So 何々と思います. The other one, which is 何々と言っていました。何々と言っていました。言っていました。This one is basically you are saying again what someone else said. So. For example, like the teacher actually said that tomorrow we have a test. So you are repeating this to another person. So you would be saying like, 明日テストがあると先生が言っていました。何々と言ってました。あると言っていました。明日テストがあると言っていました。For example. So basically this is repeating what other people said. And usually this is used towards you are repeating this to someone else who haven't heard that the other person is talking about it. For example, it's like a 3 people situation. So there's A, B, and C. So A was the one who said this one. And B is saying like X to itte imashita. And this one is being said to C actually. Meaning is someone who is total different person who did not hear what A was saying, basically. So far, do you get it? 大丈夫ですか? Do you understand the situation?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Sensei.
50-50.
50-50?
そうですか。
So, macam contoh kan, for example like there's Ananias, okay tak, kita guna orang yang ada kat sini. So, there's Kanemi, there's Ella and there's Kisi. So, Kanemi said, tomorrow we have a test. So, but Ella did not hear Kanemi said that. Instead, only Kisi heard what Kanemi said. So, and then later maybe, malam tu, like Ella was like asking, oh, do we have a test tomorrow? For example, like that, right? And then Kisi was like, yeah, Kanemi said, it's like this sentence now. Kanemi said that tomorrow we have a test. So basically, this is what the situation is. So in this case, Kisi will say like, Kanemi-san wa ashita testo ga aru to itte imashita. You use the itte imashita. So basically what basically exam that basically the meaning.
It's okay.
So, nani to itte imashita. So based on the how to differentiate for this one is actually because of the kanji and the word. So this kanji omoi comes from the verb omou, which is this one is more to like, it is the meaning of to think, but it's just like some like kind of an opinion punya thinking tau. It's not like the other word. This one is to think, yeah.
It's
There's
like,
also another word.
I feel like something like that.
So it's like I feel like so kind of meaning. There's also another word for to think, which is kangaeru actually. This is also to think, but it's more towards like macam, for example, you are answering.
Answering questions, and then omo is like thought, like you're thinking from the background of here, like for simplicity, for simplicity reasons, omo memory, kangaeru logic.
So, kangaeru is like you are thinking for an answer logically. For example, when you are answering a question, so kotae wo kangaeru. You are thinking about the answer, or like you are thinking how to answer it. But omo is something that you feel, or you kinda to like think in a memory punya way lah. So something you think about, you feel like that kind of meaning. Can you see the difference between these two words?
Hui.
大丈夫ですか？
Daijobui.
Right. So, for example, this is like the situation for itte imashita. So the first one maybe Shazren dozo. Shazren? あら。Shazren? 大丈夫ですか？じゃあ、会長、どうぞ。
はい。
見えるかな？
明日は、明日試験があります。
そう。明日試験があります。
I actually get that by pure luck, I'm like, shiken, jiken, maybe.
Yes, correct. 明日試験があります。
I'm becoming
So basically,
Japanese.
what does it mean then?
There's exam tomorrow.
So. There is an exam tomorrow. So 明日 means tomorrow. 明日 tomorrow. 試験 means exam. So, and then basically あります is there's. There is. So there is an exam tomorrow, basically what this person is said. And this person is Susan actually. Susan. So basically Susan said that tomorrow there is an exam. And this one was heard by this girl. So basically this girl is repeating what Susan said. So hence she will use the grammar of nani to itte imashita. For example, this one. Shazin, you there? Oh no.
Hi.
Okay. どうぞ。
Susan wa shita, shiken ga aru to ittemashita. So basically, she said, Susan said, Susan told me that there's gonna be an exam tomorrow.
そうそうそう。スーさんは明日試験があると言っていました。So, so basically, so since she is repeating, repeating what Susan is saying, she's repeating what Susan is saying, so she uses the 何々と言っていました。スーさんは明日試験があると言ってました。Oh, I forgot to add 試験。試験があると言っていました。So, so basically, when you want to use this sentence, basically you can just repeat what that person says and just add と言っていました。However, the formula is that you repeat whatever that person says, and then you have to end the sentence of that person said in the short form, the one that we learned, which is the dictionary form. So for example, like this one, Susan said, 明日試験があります. This one ends with a must form. This one ends with a must form or must form. So instead, you just have to change the end into a dictionary form or the short form, which is basically, it'll become aru. So that's why this one, they said it ends with aru, then to itte imashita. So far, do you get it, this part?
Hi, wakarimashita, sensei.
Okay.
Boleh lah,
And,
boleh lah.
okay, another example. For example, like someone said that tomorrow we'll do a party, for example. So you said that person A said, 明日、明日パーティーをやります。やります。明日パーティーをやります。パーティーをやります。So basically it means that tomorrow we'll be doing a party. So やります, of course, it actually means to do too. Another word of meaning to do. And やります is a must form. It ends with the must. But if you were to use the nani nani, if you were to repeat the sentence which is と言っていました, you have to change the end into a dictionary form, which is, it'll become やる。やる。パーティーをします。そうそう。Actually, パーティーはやります。パーティーをします。Both of it you can use. It's actually quite the same. It's just another way of saying to do, actually. そうそう。You can also use します here. します。If it's します, then what will it become? If you were to use this bumpo, this grammar と言ってました。
Suru.
If you...
Is it? I
What
don't
was it?
remember. Is this Suru?
そうそうそう。する。Yeah, する。This is the dictionary form or the short form. So it'll become する。So then it'll become, for example, A さんは、ちょっと待って。Then if you were to use this grammar, it'll be A さんは、明日。So basically this one you repeat. 明日、パーティーを、we use しますthen. Since you use します, then it'll become する。So basically you just change it. パーティーをすると言っていました。So the important part is to make sure it ends with a short form before adding the grammar lah, basically in this case. So this is the important part. You have to end it in with a short form before adding the to itteimashita. So that is how you use the itteimashita. The same goes for omoimasu. Omoimasu is basically the one that we just learned, which is to think or I feel like. And basically it's the same where you have to use the same format, which is you have to use the short form before adding the to omoimasu. So that is why in this chapter we learned we learned the short form is because we need to apply that short form in this grammar actually. So maybe we can just shall we read the example? Kanemi-san, you want to read this one?
Oh, yes.
大丈夫。Okay, who wants to read it? I shall give to Sajin first then. Sajin? Sajin? Imasu ka? Then Kaicho then. どうぞ。
ますよ。
いる Sajin, いる
います。いますよ。はい。
どうぞ。
スーさんは明日試験があると言っていました。
そう。So basically this refers to this situation. So it is スーさんは明日試験があると言っていました。So, and then it is important to make it into short form. Okay. The next one is like the example for 思います。So, 会長どうぞ。
はい. Tapi over here Watashiwa kalau tak ada pun tak apa kan? If anything, kalau letak Watashiwa it's a little bit awkward. Tapi tak apa. It's kaiteta. No, it's written. Watashiwa Takeshi-san wa Miyari-san ga suki da to omoimasu.
So. So in this case, you don't really have to say watashi wa because like omoimasu is something you use when you are saying what you think. If it's someone else think, you don't really use it.
Kare to omoimashita.
Hold on. Pinjam apa?
Shiken. Kesian Shiken jadi nama orang. Shiken jadi test. Shiken esok ada test.
Tetap mati minasan.
Benda ini.
Tak, kejap kat sini. Ya letaklah sana. Dekat katil lah.
Kan?
Allah.
Shiken macam mana ni Shiken?
Kau boleh tengok?
I'm joking. It's joke.
Jangan cakap. Okay. So as I was saying, you don't really have to use watashi wa because it's something that it's your opinion, so you don't really use it on when other people is saying their opinion. For example, you say that this person thinks that you like her, for example, right? So you don't use this omoimasu actually because this omoimasu is only applies to to your opinion only. So that's why in this case you don't really have to say watashi wa. So, this one is watashi wa. So basically this one they just straight away go for Takeshi-san. Takeshi-san wa Miyari-san ga
Oh my god. Oh.
Suki. Dato. Omoimasu. So this one, Takeshi-san. So basically, this is a person. Takeshi-san wa Miyari-san, also a person. Ga suki. Suki means like.
Yeah, it's my
Suki
hiccups. I'm sorry.
dato omoimasu. So the reason why they use da is actually the one that we learned also. Is also basically using a short form. So the reason why they use da is that because we have to refer here. Where is it? This one. So ski da. Ski is actually a na adjective. Ski na.
Kaichou daijoubu desu ka?
So,
Daijoubu jianai.
ski na. Ski na. So if it's like the long form, basically it'll become suki desu. But when you change it to a short form, basically this you change it to da. So ski da. So this all applies for na adjective and noun. So that's why they use da here. Where is it? Bawah ni. They use da. So basically this is the short form for the na adjective. Daijoubu desu ka, minasan? Do you have any question?
Arimasen.
Boleh lah.
Saya minta boleh lah tadi. Era kai.
Okay.
Era.
So are you sure? Are you guys okay? Siapa yang tadi, if you don't really understand, you can just stop me because I can explain it again.
Dia
Hmm.
to
Dia
omoimasu.
50-50.
Dia 50-50
Yeah.
to omoimasu to itemashita. I guess from what I've understand, this is another form kalau bahasa Inggeris. I feel like or macam from what he said or from what she said. I mean, it's not really depending on the gender, okay? But over here, the bumpo for this one, to omoimasu and to itemashita. For to omoimasu, macam saya rasa, that is the way to use to omoimasu. But of course, dia punya grammatical structure is a bit different in English lah. Unlike English, where to omoimasu is at the beginning of a sentence, to omoimasu is normally in the end.
True. So
Macam,
all of this bumpo used at the end of the sentence. And then basically to omoimasu is basically you just stating your own opinion. However, for itemashita, it's kinda basically a fact that someone actually said it. So it can't really be something that you think. This is something that someone actually said that sentence. So.
Kalau orang lain macam karedato omoimashita, kan?
So. Karedato omoimashita.
Kan? Dia da, kan? Karedato omoimashita.
You nampak tu.
But yeah, this is one I feel and from what they said. Tak apa. Once we use it in gear.
Yes, of course. And after class, maybe we can actually, try to make a sentence out of it. So. Okay. So that's for the nani to omoimasu and nani to itemashita. Then we go for the next one. Next one is nani nai de kudasai. Nani nai de kudasai. So basically the nai here is actually the negative punya form lah. You conjugate it to become negative. And then de kudasai is basically asking someone to do it. So basically this bumpo is asking someone to not do it or to refrain from doing something actually. So 何々でください. For example, you want to say, please do not eat that bread. そのパンを食べないでください. For example. So it is like a request for someone to refrain from doing it. So for example, this one, and anyone wants to read it?
Hi, sensei.
Mhm.
ここで写真を撮らないでください。
そうそう。ここで写真を撮らないでください。
Also, sensei, that's
Mhm.
the what you call that's the polite form, the Keigo form. Now, if you want to go if you want to go informal, you will just say ここで写真を撮るな.
Mm.
でも、撮るな can be, I mean, of course it is the impolite version, but it can be quite, how
Aggressive.
do you say? Oh, yeah, aggressive. If it's want to be less aggressive, but yet again, it's not the formal version, you can say ここで写真を撮らないで. Actually, you can just
Yes.
stop at there. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that as well.
Mm-hmm. For if it's a 撮るな it can be, I mean, it's actually correct. But it's a bit, it's not recommended because
Not
it can be
recommended.
sound like you are scolding, like really, really scolding that person. So,
But then
so,
again,
so.
context is key. So, but if you're talking to like a close friend or sibling, maybe
Yeah.
that is possible.
Yeah, true. If it's really, really someone you close with, then yes, it's possible to use that one. So, okay. So, this one. ここで写真を撮らないでください. So, we learned this one. そこ, Koko and Asoko, right, that day? So Koko is basically here. So here, near to the person who are speaking. And then Shashin. Shashin means picture. Picture. So Shashin. And then Toranai is actually the negative form of the verb toru, or this one is the short form, or the mas form, it's torimasu. So torimasu. So the negative form they use is the negative form or of the short form, which is toru, then it'll become toranai. So if it's the mas form, it'll become torimasen, right? But it will not be used for this one. Bumpo, you will not use the mas form. You use the short form. So it become toranai de kudasai. So for example, you want to say do not run at the hallway, kan? So you would say 廊下で走らないでください. So, そうそう。走らないでください, for example. So basically, how you want to form this sentence is like this. Basically, you need to find the negative, you change it to the negative short form and then just plus でください at the end. So, for example, the one that I just shared with you, 食べない, which is the negative short form for 食べる, which is to eat. And then you just plus でください, 食べないでください, which is to not eat. So,
How about 心配し
and
ないで?
そうそう、心配しないでください. Or
Hmm?
心配しないで, or which is the more shorter form of the sentence.
心配いら
そ
な
う。
い。
心配しないでください. So that is basically using this this bumpo or this grammar. 心配しないでください. 飲まないでください. Or 寝ないでください. So basically you are asking someone to refrain from doing that thing. So far 大丈夫ですか? 質問ありますか?
100%。
大丈夫です。大丈夫で質問がありません。
はい。
50-50. Yeah.
50-50. But no worry. Dapat. If you don't understand, you can just ask after the class too. Then we go for the next one, which is verb plus のが好きです。のが好きです。So this one is saying you want to say you like doing that thing actually. Okay, you want to say you like doing that and then you add a verb basically. Okay. A verb there. So this sentence is usually used with verb and then you have to change it into the short form juga. So basically most of this grammar that we'll be learning today is something that you use with a short form version of the verb. So I think not only like, which is nogaski, you can also use kirai desu, which is the opposite. Nani nani suru no ga kirai desu, for example. The other one, the opposite, is nani nani, which is the verb, no ga kirai desu. So, this one is the opposite, which is you hate doing that thing, doing that stuff. So for example, the first one, kaicho dozo.
Over here pun tak ni kan? Okay, tak apa. 私は日本語を勉強するのが好きです。
So in this case, you also do not really need to say watashi wa because nani nani o suru no ga nani nani no ga kirai desu or nani nani no ga suki desu. This is also something that you would say for your own opinion actually. Your own opinion or something that you would say. If it's someone else saying that, contoh for example like this person, this is like me, right? Me. I'm the one who likes to study Japanese for this context. But if, for example, Kaicho were to say that Kaicho likes to study Japanese, then I would be saying, macam, to rephrase that sentence, I would say that Kaicho wa Nihongo o benkyou suru no ga suki da to itte imashita. I will use that itemashita. Can you see the difference? Do you get what I'm saying?
The difference is sensei add in more stuff.
I think it's a VTuber in the background is catching for sure. How did you know, Ella? You know me like the back of my hand. Oh, damn.
How do I say that? So basically, this is something that you would say for yourself, tau. You don't say it for other people. Basically, this is me, the one who thinks like this. Like I'm the one who likes to study Japanese. But if Kaicho were to say that he likes to study Japanese and macam I want to say this lah, macam I want to cakap lah, oh Kaicho also likes to study Japanese. I'm saying this as someone else lah, punya point of view. Then I have to use the dato itemashita because it is something that Kaicho said. Can you see the difference?
So,
大丈夫ですか?
I don't know if I daijoubu or not.
so ですか?
Oh no.
Tapi kita sambung je lah.
Suzuki.
50-50, yeah. I can
I
just
get
say
it.
a
Yeah.
50-50.
Okay. Tak apa, nanti after class I'll try to put it in one page, and then I'll show you the difference lah. So basically this one is watashi wa Nihongo o benkyou suru no ga ki desu. So basically Nihongo, I think most of us know, it means Japanese language. Nani nani go. Oh, benkyou suru. Benkyou suru is the verb of to meaning to study. And then no ga ski desu. So basically this is like. So basically what this person is trying to say that I like studying the Japanese language. Nani nani suru no ga ski desu. And then take note that they are actually over here are using the short form. Oh my, I shouldn't go down. Okay. The short form. So, nani nani suru no ga suki desu. Or for example, the next one. Anyone wants to read this one?
Can I read it?
Yeah, sure. どうぞ。
私は、私は部屋を掃除
うん
するのが嫌いです。
そうそうそうそう。
なん
私、
で
お前。私は
I'm drinking. I'm
部
drinking.
屋を掃除するのが嫌いです。So for this one is using the opposite of the no ga suki desu. So this one is
Oh, it's my turn.
kirai desu, which means hate.
Sure.
So
Okay.
so in this case,
Okay.
私は部屋。部屋 means room. It means room. And then soji suru is the verb meaning to clean. To clean. No ga kirai desu, which is hate. So in this context is saying that I do not like cleaning my room. So my room. So. Okay. So not only like to say that that person is like I like something, doing something, or I hate doing that thing. You can also say that another person is good at doing something or bad at doing something. So, which is nani nani ga jouzu desu. Nani nani no ga jouzu desu. So this one is good at. While the other one is nani nani no ga heta desu. So this one is bad at something. So for example, the first sentence, anyone wants to try reading this one? Then maybe Sajin?
Hi, sensei.
Right.
はい、ちょっと。ロバートさんは料理を作るのが上手です。
そう。So this one is Robert, basically. Roberto さんは料理をちょっと待って。料理を作るのが上手です。So ロバートさんは料理 actually means meals. 料理を作る is the verb which is to make actually. The meaning to make. 作るのが上手です。So 上手 means good at something. So this is what this sentence actually means. ロバートさんは料理を作るのが上手です。So as I mentioned before, that's something that you guys were a bit confused just now, but don't worry, I'll explain later. This is something that is what you feel. 好きです or 嫌いです is something that you feel. But in terms of this, and then I said that this only applies to yourself, right? If it's someone else, you have to add dato ite imashita. However, this one, they are applying about someone else, but yet again, they don't add the dato ite imashita. This is because this is what you think about that person. That's why they don't use the dato ite imashita, because that person did not say that they are good at doing that thing. It's just something that you think. So that's why they don't use the dato itemashita dekat at the end of the sentence. But this one, of course, I'll explain further after class. Don't worry. Because I have to put in one page the bumpo so that we can see the difference lah. So, and then next one maybe Kaisho. Kaisho. Inai mitai desu. Spice some.
はい。たかしさんは、英語を、I can't see it, sorry. 話すの、がへ、話すのが下手です。
そう。たけしさんは英語を話すのが下手です。Which means たけしさんは英語。So 英語 means English language, the English language. So basically 何々語。何々語 this kanji itself represents the meaning of language. 何々語。Oh, 話す。So 話す is actually the verb of to speak. 話す to speak. 話すのが下手です。So 下手 actually means bad at something. So basically this sentence is saying that Takeshi-san is well, in terms of directly translating it, it's like Takeshi-san is bad at speaking English, literally. So basically it's not a good speaker of English lah. So, Takeshi-san wa eigo o hanasu no ga heta desu. Heta. So basically how you construct this sentence is this one. So you have to put the person who is the one you're talking about, and then the activity that person is doing, the activity or the verb, and then you have to make sure that it is in the short form. Short form. Nani no ga, and then depending on what you want to say, maybe that person likes doing. I mean, I like doing it, or I hate doing it, or that person is good at doing something, or that person is bad at doing something, depending on the context. So basically, this is the basic of how to construct this grammar. 大丈夫ですか？
はい、大丈夫です。
はい。質問ありますか？ Do you have any question?
No.
Okay. But don't worry, if you have any question, you can ask after the class. Don't worry. Okay. Wait, let me see first. Okay. So the next one is actually a particle. We'll be learning about a particle which is ga. Particle. So far we've learned the particle of wa and also no. Wa and no. But for this one is the particle of ga. So I think some of you guys, I actually explained this previously in detail. What's the difference between wa and ga? So this one ga is actually used when you want to, what you call it, the focus is about at the front of the ga actually. So if you see a sentence and then you see a ga, the focus is actually over here. This is the main focus. So the subject is the main focus basically. So I guess it's better to see the example straight away so that I can point out which one is the focus. So anyone wants to try reading this? 私はマリーゴができます。が for life. That is actually correct. Yeah, 私はマリーゴができます。This one, 会長? Is 会長 there? Okay, now. So Tadi siapa yang baca kat atas? Oh, tadi tu. Dan Shazrin, どうぞ.
Hi, Sensei. Hi.
はい。
Roberto さんが沖縄に行きました。
そうそうそうそう。ロバートさんは、ロバートさんが、ロバートさんが沖縄に行きました。So when you see the word ga here, so basically this sentence, what they want to focus on is the one at the front of the ga, which is they want to focus at Robert. So basically they are saying like Robert is the one who went to Okinawa basically. So Okinawa is the name of a place, then ikimashita is the verb to go. Another example you can see the difference between wa, the particle wa and ga is actually this one. This one is also a correct sentence, but instead of ga, they use wa, which is Robato-san wa Okinawa ni ikimashita. So the reason why they use wa here is because they are focusing at the back here, which means that they are saying Robert went to Okinawa. So they are focusing on Okinawa ni ikimashita here. If it's wa, the particle wa, they focus on the back. But if it's the particle ga, basically they are focusing on the sentence of about Robert. It's Robert the one who went to Okinawa. Can you see the difference between wa and ga? 大丈夫ですか?
Hi, dayobu desu yo. Just installed the apps at BlueStacks. Looks all fine.
Right, so that is the difference between wa and ga actually. So another way of using this is like when you are asking a question actually, usually you would use the particle ga. So when it's the question like for example, dare ga, dore ga, what else? Dore ga, dare ga. What else? So dono and dare usually. So when you want to ask a question that is basically in this one is like blank on the information sheet. So it's something that you don't know, you use the particle ga actually. So for example, this one, 誰が沖縄に行きましたか? Like who? Since they are focusing on who actually. Who went to Okinawa? So this one is 誰が沖縄に行きましたか? So 誰が沖縄に行きましたか? So who went to Okinawa? They are focusing on the who. So that's why they use ga. They use ga over here, which focuses on dare. So who went to Okinawa basically. And then the next one is, for example, like this one. Maybe Ella, do you want to try?
Just
Yeah.
Kaicho watching his VTuber content, I guess.
I think it's his siblings.
Pretty
Okay,
sure it's him.
anyways, let me say the first few sentences. どのクラスが面白いですか?
Oh, sorry. But hold on. I'm gonna wait to see. Ella was typing something. Were you typing something, Ella? Oh. Then maybe you can try the next one, Ella. It's okay. Ella, you type the next one. So like Shazrin said, it is. Oh my. This one is Nihongo. Don't worry, it's not hard. 大丈夫. Don't know. Oh wait. どのクラスが面白いですか? So this one is, since this one is like asking which is a question word, which, right? So they are focusing on the front part when you see the ga. どのクラスが面白いですか? So どの is which. And then クラス is basically class. And the 面白い is like interesting. 面白いですか? So which class is interesting? So which class is interesting? What? Apa ni? Nihongo class. So this one is どのクラスが面白いですか? So since they're using ga, they are focusing on the front part, which is which class. This part. So, and then the next one is 日本語のクラスが面白いです。So, yes, Ella, it's correct. 日本語のクラスが面白いです。So when you are answering the question, basically you just use the same particle as the one that is used in the question. So you don't change the particle. You just use the same particle as the question. So this one is answering the question, which is 日本語のクラスが面白いです。The Japanese class is the interesting class. It's the class that is interesting to me. So basically like that. So 日本語のクラスが面白いです。It focuses on 日本語のクラス。So, you focus. So, and then the next one is Kaicho, you there?
Yes.
はい、どうぞ。
Alright. このクラスで誰がメガネをかけていますか？
そうそうそうそう。このクラス
で
で誰がメガネをかけていますか? So このクラスで basically you can say it or you don't want to say it, it's also can depending where you at. So このクラスで in this class 誰が so since this is a question like they are asking who, they want to know who, so that's why they use the ga because the focus is on 誰がメガネ is glasses or spectacles, glasses. So, をかけていますか? So this one is actually, you can say it's a pair of words. So basically, you want to say that wearing a glasses in Japanese is メガ
メガネ。
ネをかける. This is the verb to say like to
Put on glasses.
to put on glasses or wearing a glasses. So wearing is basically かけています. And this one is like to put on glasses. メガネをかける. To put on glasses. So basically in this sentence it's asking, in this class, who wears a glasses? Who wears glasses? So basically, who? It focuses on who. And then someone answers this one. Spice, do you want to read this?
Sure.
Yes.
山下先生がメガネをかけています。
そうそう。山下先生が、山下先生がメガネをかけています。So basically what they want to say is like Yamashita sensei, the Professor Yamashita is the one who wears glasses. So Yamashita sensei ga megane o kakete imasu. So that is the use of ga. It focuses on the front part. This one, the subject. Ga. So, ga. Do you have any question for the particle ga?
Nope.
大丈夫ですか？はい。
大丈夫です。
Daijoubu.
はい。
Sedihnya
Okay.
tadi.
Okay, we go for the last one. The last grammar. So it is 何か and 何も. So the difference between 何か and 何も is that 何か kinda is like saying something. Something. Or something in terms of the positive statement. Like for example, you want to say there's something under the table. So you say like 何かapa tu? Table no shita ni 何かあります. For example, or 何かいます. For example, you want to say something. You don't know that thing is 何か. Another meaning is that anything as if like, do you need anything? 何かいりますか? For example, 何か必要ですか? In that kind of meaning, anything or something. Do you need anything? 何かいりますか? 何か必要ですか? And then, however, for 何も, it means not anything. And it always have to be used with negative meaning, or like the sentence must end in with a negative form. So to be more specific, I guess it's better to see the example lah kot. So, Charles dozo.
はい、先生、ちょっと。
うん。
猫が何か持ってきました。
そうそうそう。猫。猫が何か持ってきました。So you do not know what the cat brought to you. So you would use this word 何か since it's something that you don't know. So 猫が何か持ってきました。持ってきます。Or 持ってくる means to bring actually. To bring. 持ってくる。持ってきます。So since it's something that you don't know, so the word something itself lah. That's why you use the 何か。猫が何か持ってきました。Or for example, you see someone is writing something but you don't know what that person is writing. You say like, あの人は何か書いています。For example. So, 何か something. That person is writing something, for example. And then another one is like when you are asking a question of anything. So this one maybe Spice さんどうぞ。
Kalau ada.
猫は何か食べましたか？
そうそうそうそう。猫は何か食べましたか？ So this one did you see like that cat is eating something but you don't really know what it's eating. You know, maybe it's fast. So you'll be like, あの猫は何か食べましたか? For example. Or maybe you see that cat, suddenly that cat is like kinda feeling macam not well or something. So you assume that cat ate something bad, right? So you will like, あの猫何か食べましたか? For example. So this one is 何か, which means anything in terms of asking a question. So, 何か. And then lastly is 何も. So this one 会長どうぞ。
はい。いいえ。猫は何も食べませんでした。
そうそうそう。いいえ。猫は何も食べませんでした。So this one is when you want to say that not anything or nothing lah, 何も nothing. So basically, いいえ、猫は何も. And then if you notice that above here they say that this 何も must be added with a negative here. Negative. So that's why in this sentence it ends with negative form. Tabemasen deshita. So this one is the negative form. Basically. So you must every time you use nanimo, you must end with a negative form. Iie neko wa nanimo tabemasen deshita. For example, another example you can use is like, for example, you want to ask, like, did you say anything? Nanika itte imashita ka? Nanika itte imashita ka? Did you say anything? Then you would say like, iie nanimo itte imasen deshita. You have to use the masen. Itte masen deshita. Do you understand this one? 大丈夫ですか? The difference between these three.
はい、大丈夫。
大丈夫です。
はい、大丈夫ですね。
E.
So it's already 10:32. I'm sorry for the extra 2 minutes. The Hyogen we'll learn next week. We'll learn next week because it's a short one, and then we'll enter chapter 9 lah for next week Monday. But tomorrow we'll be continuing with chapter 1. So as
Hi,
usual,
Sensei.
I'll be here for any question.
Hi, Sensei. I just wanted to remind you guys that
Mhm.
the phone emulator is working fine. I can access WhatsApp
Mhm.
and I can access WhatsApp. I can access what you call Telegram. It's all good so
Mhm.
far. Unfortunately, this is why we have to prepare for backup plans.
よかったですね。
Anyway, それじゃあ、お先に失礼します。
はい、お疲れ様。
お疲れ。
Otsufeko.
Mm.
So we're having class tomorrow?